We have seen how computer vision systems take raw pixels and turn them into predictions. Now we apply that process to one of its most debated applications, identifying human faces. Chapter 8, Section 3, Recognizing Faces, Putting a Name to a Face, How Facial Recognition Works. We will move through 4 specific areas: the difference between detection and identification, the mechanical pipeline itself, the stakes of one-to-one versus one-to-many searches, and the data structures within everyday consumer technology. We often use the term facial recognition as a catch-all, but the process is actually a series of distinct mechanical steps. Understanding the difference between a camera noticing a face and a camera storing an identity is the first step in assessing how these systems function. 3.1. Detecting a face versus identifying a face. Face detection is the simpler task. It is a specific form of object detection that only asks whether a face is present in an image and where it is located. When a camera app draws a box around a person before a photo is taken, it is performing detection. Facial recognition goes further. Instead of just locating a face, the system attempts to determine who the person is. It tries to link the detected face to a specific name or identity. This side-by-side view shows the distinction. The system on the left is only locating generic faces in a crowd. The system on the right is actively attaching a name to one of those faces. A system can be highly accurate at detecting faces without ever knowing the identity of the people it sees. The risks of the technology begin when the system moves from tracking shapes to cross-referencing identities. Section 3.2. The Facial Recognition Pipeline. To identify a face, the system follows a 4-stage pipeline. In Stage 1, it detects and aligns the face. The computer rotates and crops the image to standardize the position of the eyes, nose, and mouth. Shadows or extreme angles can cause this initial alignment to fail. In Stage 2, the system converts those features into a faceprint. This is a compact string of numbers that represents the measurements and relationships between facial landmarks in a format a computer can process. For Stage 3, the system compares this new faceprint against a database of stored templates, searching for numeric similarities. Finally, the system produces a similarity score. If the score crosses a pre-selected numerical threshold, the system declares a match. Many modern systems use liveness detection as a safeguard. This uses depth mapping or infrared sensors to ensure the camera is seeing a 3-dimensional human. It protects against a flat, printed photograph. Even with these physical safeguards, the outcome depends on the chosen threshold. A match is the result of a similarity score reaching a specific numerical level, a boundary defined by human engineers. Section 3.3. One-to-one verification versus one-to-many identification. Verification is a one-to-one process. The system checks a single face against one claimed identity to answer a yes or no question. This is what happens when you use your face to unlock your own phone. Identification is a one-to-many process. It searches one face against a massive database of thousands or millions of stored faces to ask, who is this? These 2 tasks carry different risks. Verification is usually a feature users opt into, where the outcome of a mistake is a simple retry. Identification is often used on crowds without consent, where a false match can lead to serious consequences. As the size of the database grows, the mathematical probability of a false match increases. Searching one face against millions of records creates significantly more opportunities for error than verifying a single identity. While the underlying software is similar, the scale of the query transforms the technology from a personal convenience into a high-stakes identification tool. 3.4. Everyday face technology. We interact with this pipeline daily through photo tagging apps. These tools group images of the same person together, allowing you to search by name. To do this, the app must generate and store a faceprint for every person in your photos. This creates a privacy trade-off. Tagging a friend in a shared album adds their biometric data to a company's system. It is a moment that requires us to consider consent and how long that data might be stored. To see how vision models handle these tasks, test an AI tool with 3 photos, one clear, one ambiguous, and one with difficult lighting. The changes in the tool's confidence scores will show you where the recognition pipeline is most likely to struggle. Convenient features like face unlock and mobile payments rely on the constant generation of biometric data. This information is either stored on your device or, in some cases, on a central server. The same technical pipeline used to organize vacation photos is the foundation for large-scale surveillance. The difference lies in how the data is used and the scale at which the matches are performed. We have now seen the full progression, from the initial detection of a face to the creation of a numeric faceprint and the final match. Detection finds the presence of a face. Identification translates that face into a numeric string to perform a database search. The final match is a calculation, a score that either meets or falls short of a predefined limit. The most important distinction is scale. Checking one face against one identity is a manageable task, but searching millions of records introduces a much higher risk of false matches. Because these systems rely on fixed thresholds and massive datasets, they are prone to specific types of failure. In the next section, we will examine how those failures happen and how they lead to issues of accuracy and bias.